Hey guys, my name is Bryce. I am the developer of ListForge. So it's been out in the wild for about 10 months now, and given that the features have grown so much, I just wanted to go ahead and give a developer's tour of the application and teach you guys some efficient ways to use the app and maybe some features that you didn't know about yet. So we'll dive right in. Here on the home screen for ListForge, we have all lists, which is sortable. So you can sort by name, detachment, faction, etc. Um, and then we have custom folders. So these are created by the user. You can reorder them with the up and down carrots here. Within them, you can also hold down on these lists with the horizontal lines and reorder them in any way you want to make sure that the lists you care about most are easily accessible. Below that, we have a third type of folder, which is the automatically generated faction folders. In alphabetical order, these will give you all of your lists divided by factions. Also on the home screen, we have the plus button, which helps you create new lists, create custom folders, and import lists. And we have a way to download game systems. It's pre-populated here with the main data branch, which can be used for all of your lists that have been officially released by Games Workshop and supported by the BS Data team, who does really awesome work. Shout out to those guys. Or the LF fork, which I maintain for early releases for those of us that are really impatient. Um, Over here, we have a little clock icon, which gives you a prompt to check for updates. It will check for updates for any game system that you have downloaded and apply those when you click yes. Awesome. Also, you can see here that I am showing the demo for desktop. However, ListForge was designed primarily for mobile and uses the exact same code base. So everything I'm going to show you here today is also super relevant for mobile. And in fact, what I'm going to show you right now, which is swiping, was actually developed for mobile, although I do find it works pretty well on desktop. So whenever you see a list tile, you can go ahead and swipe left. That will bring up a delete dialog to make sure you actually want to do so. And if you swipe right, that will take you directly to the view screen. Um, if you click, obviously, it'll take you to the edit screen as normal. Onto the view screen here. So this is a screen I'm really proud of. What the intention behind this screen is to give you really everything you need to have to reference your full rules, abilities, stats, etc. to play a game with your specific list, and really nothing that you don't need as well. So I'll show you guys how to set this stuff up later, but you can add notes and counters to your list if you want to um, remember how to deploy certain things or just give your overall thoughts. If you want to track your wins, total games, any other stats you want to be tracking, you can do so with counters. From there, it will show you the army rule and detachment rules that are relevant to your specific army and detachment, as well as the stratagems relevant to your detachment, as well as, if you expand this, the generic stratagems for 40K that any army can use. All of these stratagems, whether they are for your detachment or generic, are color coded. Green is for either player's turn, blue is for your own turn, and red is usable only in your opponent's turn. Moving on, we show at the top here attached units. I'll show you guys how to attach if you don't know so already in a bit. But this is really useful. So for my Mega Death Star of 20 boys, Gazgul, and a Pain Boy here, I can view everything in the same place instead of flipping through a bunch of data sheets and looking at stuff from all over. It'll show you my unit profiles, my weapon profiles, as well as all of the abilities. So this is obviously a double attached unit, has a lot of abilities, including some enhancements, etc. So you can see everything here in one place. And you can see the same for my other attached units. After attached, we'll have our normal epic hero, character, battle line, etc. breakdown here in the list. So for example, this is Boss Nickrock. You can see that I might have a note for this specific unit as well, so I can remember when his redeploy works. Or in the case of Mozrog, I might have a counter for a specific unit if I want to track how many things that Mozrog has crumped. Oh, he went and crumped another vehicle monster. Let's put it up to 9. Or that was a mistake. We can reduce it back to 8. Those are editable from the view screen. Also, a really good thing to note is that on desktop, if you hover, or on mobile, if you long press, hold and press, you can bring up the description for any unit or weapon keyword that has a definition. So for feel no pain, it tells you how to do that. For devastating wounds, it tells you how to do that. For anti keyword, it tells you how to do that, etc. Another cool thing I added that was from a community request is if you want to stop looking at units that have died this battle because they are irrelevant anyway, you can go ahead and press this cancel icon here. If Mazrog does bite the dust, then I don't have to keep scrolling past him when I'm looking through all my units, and he goes into this killed units section here at the bottom. If I did that on accident or want to revive him for any reason, I can go ahead and press the heart to do so. Great, that is the view screen. Moving right along, we can go to the Mathhammer screen from the view screen. So next to each unit, whether it's attached or individual, you'll see a little calculator icon. If you click that, it will go ahead and load all of the weapons for that specific unit into the Mathhammer calculator here. Um, so this is a really fast way to get a general or very specific idea of what your unit does with certain buffs applied into a variety of targets. Um, so all of these weapons that you see here come with their keywords, and this logic is already applied into the calculator. So if you see this tank hammer has devastating wounds, anti-vehicle 4 up, that means that as soon as it comes in the calculator, it will do dev wounds on a 4 up to vehicles without you having to set anything extra. Um, and that's all taken into account here. One more thing up top is that datasheet abilities, like once per game abilities, will need to be applied separately. So for example, the Power Claw from the War Boss here, from his datasheet ability, will go up to 8 attacks instead of 4 in the WA, and then we'll show you that with the asterisk to make sure you can tell it's been modified. If you want to remove any profiles, for example, this choppa that's wielded by somebody that also has a better weapon, just click the X and that'll remove it from the calculations. And global modifiers here is where you can apply any abilities you might have from data sheets, from your characters, from your stratagems, from your detachment army rules, etc. So I've set this up to look like we're in a WA. We have +1 attack, +1 strength, and then the war boss is giving this unit +1. I guess it really should be to hit, but it essentially functions the same way from the datasheet ability. Then you can see damage into a variety of targets. If you want to see a breakdown of what weapon does exactly what at each attack step, you can do that by expanding here. And you get a really granular view of what's doing what. And you can see this applied to the standard targets as well as custom targets I've added here, such as Satan or Deathwing Knights. If you want to add custom targets, you can do so here. If you want to edit or delete that custom target, you can do so by clicking on it. Um, so the other thing that's nice about this screen is it can be really clunky sometimes to try to share screenshots of Mathhammer because there's so much going on. So I have went ahead and developed a really easy way to do so. So if you click this export button on the top right here, you get this image that pops up that shows you an exact summary of what's going on. You can go ahead and share that image, which will copy it to clipboard or open the the mobile native share dialog if you're on mobile. And you can go ahead and paste that in Discord, tell your friends how good your unit is. If you wanted to, let's say, construct a Excel or Google Sheets comparison of what that unit does with different buffs, for this buff setting, you can go ahead and copy the text. And then if you have a Google Sheet open, you can paste it in and start your spreadsheet off strong, maybe paste a few different versions, and you are off to the races in that sense. Great. So back from home screen here, if you click, like I mentioned, directly on the tile, it'll take you to what we call the edit screen. And this is where you can add in all these cool features that I showed you, how to view in the view screen, as well as actually construct your list. So under configuration is where you would add notes for the whole list or counters for the whole list. You can see I already have these set up. You can also modify stuff you've already set up here. For the units themselves, the context menu, so the three little vertical dots, has the same functionality. So if you want to add a note for Mozrog, you could do so here. If you want to add either another counter or rename, remove, duplicate your existing counter here, you can do so that way. Also in this screen, we have similar swipe gesture functionality set up. So if you want to get rid of Mozrag, you can swipe to the left, the same as the home screen for lists. And then if you wanted to duplicate Snickerrock here, which would be illegal, you can swipe to the right and that will duplicate. We'll get rid of those for now because we can't have more than one epic hero. And you can see that our constraints check is back to being happy. Also from the screen is where we have all of the exports. So you can actually use your list. So we have all the different text options depending on your preferences. We have a yellow scribe integration, which gives you a TTS code very directly. We have an army assist integration. So that's set up by a really awesome, also independent developer that gives you a way to view everything like by phase and check stuff off as you do it. Really recommend people newer to the game check that one out. And then we have my favorite feature of the whole app, which is web link and QR code share. Excuse me. So this gives you a link. You can either copy the link directly or you can show your phone to your friend and they can scan the QR to visit this link and paste it in any browser. And what this does is it gives you pretty much the exact same view as the view screen. So again, everything you would need to play your list um, down to explaining what infiltrators and stealth does, all your stratagems, all your stats, etc., in a publicly accessible and viewable link. So my intention with this is to really help out with the open information nature of 40K and level the playing field. As a great sportsman or sports person, I would suggest and recommend that you can go ahead and share this with opponents before games so they have a really easy and complete way to reference everything your army can do without needing to constantly look up a bunch of different things or be asking you while you're trying to plan your turns. You also, in addition to that interactive view, have all the text views here in the web link, and you can click on the right here to copy that code, which is also the extension of the URL. That code can be used to import. So if you go back to the home screen and you want to import a list, you can do so by pasting that code we just copied, and it will import that list. So if you want to make some tweaks to a friend's list or share a list with your friends, you can also do so through that same web view feature and then the import. So let's move on to the settings screen real quick here. This is the last screen I'll show in the app. This is where you can alter your display settings. So if you like those faction folders I showed you on the home screen, you can toggle them on or off here. And you can also here give some preference about what starts expanding when you look at a unit to edit it. So if you want the top part that has the unit stats and abilities start expanding, you can toggle that on. Maybe if you already know what a lot of the stuff does and you want to get right to the choices, you can toggle it off. Similarly, this selection group expansion is for things like war gear and enhancements. If you want to start those menus open, on, and again, if you want to see a really simple and clean view, you can go ahead and toggle that off. We also have themes here in the app. So this is where you can change the entire app to be a totally different color theme to reflect what you like to see in terms of UI and the overall feel of ListForge. So this is a club-only feature, along with some of the other stuff that I showed you, like custom targets and unlimited list creation. Although there are options on mobile to watch an ad to bypass most of these limits. Um, but I would really encourage you to sign up for Club or at least consider doing so if you haven't yet. As I mentioned, this is an independently developed app, so any support you can give is really appreciated, and then you can really unlock ListForge's full potential, customize it to look how you like, and get the most out of it. So please do consider signing up for ListForge Club. How to do so is you can visit the website here that's listed in the settings screen. If you go to login, create account, that will give you sign up options via PayPal. This is also where you can download ListForge for any platform. And then the last feature I want to show off here is something very new that we're calling featured lists. So this has a bunch of lists from tournament winners, and then there's also a community pick section with a blurb about what that list is, how it works, and then if you click on that list, you're taken to the share link for that list. This is Liam VSL's Veterans of the Long War list, so you can go ahead and copy code, export it, paste it into your own ListForge app, and try it out for yourself and see if you have what it takes to play like Liam VSL. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for your time, everyone, and please do consider joining ListForge Club.